we head to the state of Florida, where USF, coming off its upset win of Florida, goes to Miami. Now, USF was a 19.5-point underdog when it played Florida. Won outright. USF is now a 16.5-point underdog against the Hurricanes. We've talked about USF's situation here. They don't necessarily have to win this game to then go on and win the American and make the playoff. If they did win this game, though, Ari, then if they won the American, they would be in the playoff. Like, there would be no question about it. It wouldn't matter what their record was in the American as long as they won it.
Yeah. So I have already been on record. I don't know if you saw. Yeah, you did see. You tweeted out the clip of you and I discussing Florida and Miami's trajectory, and everybody, the Miami fans found that this week. And rightfully so. When you have a take that doesn't age well.
It's a long off season. We have a lot of chances to say stupid things, and we said something very stupid.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's also week 2, and I don't know that it's stupid. We'll see.
I suspect it was stupid.
It's probably stupid. But that's part of this job, too. It's like, we're not batting 1,000 on correct takes all the time.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe I'm in this job because I have bad takes all the time, but at least they're entertaining takes. But I wonder if this is the weekend where everything kind of regresses to the mean a little bit, where South Florida, who was a completely overlooked entity coming into the year, people didn't know who Byron Brown was till they watched them play Boise, actually comes out and proves that it's a legitimate playoff contender in a way that they are better than people give them credit for. And then Miami isn't as dominant as they were in their first game against Notre Dame, or they have a sleeper game or whatever. I'm sure they're probably quite awake now after what happened to Florida. They don't want it to happen to them. But you have a competitive football game in the state of Florida that ends with like Miami winning 38-22 or something. Like, I think that I am picking South Florida here because I have respect for them as a team. But that also isn't a disrespect for Miami. I think it's going to be a tough Florida game. Now, I don't know if South Florida is just going to come out and just be completely exhausted, and it took every ounce of energy physically and emotionally to beat Florida on the road, and that they won't be able to like get up again for a second game in a row like this. But I think that it's possible that South Florida is just a playoff team this year from the group of 5. And when you play a playoff, like Boise wouldn't have been a 16.5-point favorite on the road against Miami last year. What if they're this year's Boise? They don't have Genty, but what if Byron Brown is just sensational?
It's entirely possible. It's also possible that this Miami team is a team that beats you in low-scoring games. Now, obviously, we're not going to learn much from Bethune-Cookman last week, but if their defense is considerably better, they might be the kind of team that tries to squeeze the life out of you, and they're not trying to run up the score on you because they don't want to make mistakes on offense. They want to play conservatively on offense because they know they have a good defense. And so that could keep the score down, which with a spread this high, it's really hard to cover that.
What a world that would be. That's Miami this year. They're
I know.
Conservatively on offense because their defense is good team. I didn't see that one.
Now, last year, USF actually played them tough for 3 quarters or 2.5 quarters. And then Cam Ward went crazy and they couldn't stop him. Yeah. But Miami's offense is different this year. Now, I'm very excited about what Malachi Toney can be. So there's a chance that Miami's offense gets better and better each week. So mind that before we make any major decisions.
What if Miami has a really good offense and a really good defense? That's possible too, right?
Right. They're a national title contender.
Which one of the 3 best teams in college football this year. And we just didn't see it coming.
Yep. And that's what makes this game so interesting because I think USF is good. I think they're going to give them a really good fight. And Miami probably, especially because USF beat Florida, is going to be on high alert. So you're probably going to get the best version of Miami, which is weird because you would have looked at the schedule and said, oh, they might overlook USF because they've got Florida the next week. But now, well, USF and Florida played. Who are you more worried about? The team that won the game. So yeah, I think you're going to get the best version of Miami. I agree with you that I think this is a very tough spread to cover, and I think USF is good. That said, what if Miami is what you just said? What if Miami, the offense gets better, the defense is improved, and they are just the team that we thought last year's team was supposed to be? I'm going to take Miami to cover here. And I realize taking Florida to cover against USF made me look really, really stupid. But I am going to take Miami to cover here just because I do think there's also a letdown spot here for USF. Huge win. But I know Alex Golesh is a very good coach. I know he's going to get them up because the opportunity in front of them, if they can win this game, they are in such a great position for the rest of the season. It's huge. But again, I don't think Miami is going to be surprised here. So I will take Miami to cover.